continuing our conversation on how we can legally, ethically, and creatively be using AI inside of our publishing journey, let's save ourselves some time and effort by creating our backstories for our side characters with AI. Now, you're not going to need to know a ton about some of your side characters unless they're incredibly important, so you don't necessarily need to do the heavy lifting yourself. Giving your AI some details can allow you to flesh out a little bit about who they are, and if you like it, that's just information that you're tucking away to the side to inform who your character is and the decisions they're making inside of the story. Your characters, your side characters' backstories probably aren't going to be relevant to what you're actually writing, but can be used in your character development for them to understand where they came from and how it implements into what they're doing now. Now, with all AI, you want to make sure you're giving it a lens or a framework that it can be giving you information. And the more information you give it up front, the better results it's going to give you on the back end. You can always ask refining questions and make it change things, but it's going to give you enough information that you can kind of picture what that person's childhood or early years is going to be like as you're developing your side characters. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and type in my prompt. You can use something similar. I always give it the lens of being a best-selling author, but you can do whatever you need to do. So I said, I'm a best-selling author writing a new contemporary story about a missing person and the boyfriend trying to solve the case and find her alive. I'm giving it a framework of what I'm writing about. Contemporary story, missing persons, the boyfriend's the main character, trying to find her alive. She's not dead yet. I go on to say the missing person has a best friend who is also helping and hindering the main character's search for his girlfriend. So I've told it, this is who we're talking about, the main character's best friend. She has a charmed life, not rich but not poor, is popular, and was the class president type of girl. She's now 23 and out of college, where she got a communications degree and has started a job working for the communications department of a local television station. I've given it a framework, a lens to look through. She is charmed. Everything has worked in her favor. She is somebody that people like. She's class president. She's the type A kind of person who gets things done. She is somebody who's like a class president. She worked in communications. She's now working for a local TV station, which, by the way, could have implementations or implications on how he is going to be finding his girlfriend. There's a lot that you can get from here. I go on to say, she's only in the book here and there, but I need a good backstory for her, which I didn't spell properly, but that's okay because it can figure out what I'm saying. I go on to say, please give me an overview of her life from 16 to 22 years old through the end of high school and college to her present job at the TV station. We're going to see what it spits out. Do I need to know a lot of this information? Not really, but it's going to give me a pretty good idea of who this person is. They've named my character. If I have a name for the character, I can put it in there, or we can just see what's going on here. Now you can see it's kind of giving me by the years as it's doing this. So I can jump in and say, the high school years from 16 to 18, Emily has had a remarkable high school experience. She was driven, charismatic, and held leadership positions throughout her years. Her journey into leadership began during her sophomore year when she joined the student council. Okay, information, this is good. By her junior year, she was elected as class president due to her natural ability to connect with her peers and her keen organizational skills. Good. These are things that are going to be helpful. If you are somebody who was the class president type, you're probably going to have those good organizational skills and be liked by people, right? It goes on to say Emily used her platform to make positive changes within the school. So she's somebody who gets things done. Within the school community, organizing fundraisers for charity. So she is somebody who is taking action and making things happen, and organizing charity events and doing things in a selfless capacity. That tells us a lot about her. If this is the backstory I'm using for my character, whose name is Emily here, I would say she might be the person who is over-organizing things. And because she's trying to plan things and be helpful and do all these things, she could be hindering our main character's ability to save his girlfriend because she's overly trying to be helpful, not necessarily because she's being dumb or she's going out of her way to do things or to undermine him. She's just being too helpful, and that too much helpfulness is getting in the way because she's doing things she shouldn't be doing, or she thinks she should be doing, but aren't really helping. I can then go on to continue to read this. Fostering a sense of unity, it says. During her senior year, Emily was a standout student both academically and socially, so she's smart. She was crowned the homecoming queen. Okay, that tells us a lot about this character. Homecoming queen, right? The testament to her widespread popularity. This popularity, however, didn't prevent her from forming deep and meaningful friendships, so she does have good friendships. She's not a superficial type thing. including the one she's shared with a missing person whom she befriended in their freshman year. So it even goes back to talk about their friendship and how they've connected. Together, they faced challenges, celebrated victories, and grown even closer as they navigated the complexities of high school life. Then it goes on to the college years. Let's see what it says about that. Transitioning to college, Emily pursued a communications degree driven by her love for connecting with people and conveying messages. She continued to shine as she led on campus. She joined clubs and organizations. She honed her communication and leadership skills. She held executive roles. She was instrumental in organizing events that brought the student body together. Emily's college years were not without personal struggles, though. She faced the usual backlash of balancing academics and social life and personal growth. Additionally, she experienced moments of self-doubt. So we're getting into this. Somebody who is very popular now, we're seeing a little bit of self-doubt. This is good character development. Questioning whether she could live up to the high expectations set by her high school success. So we see how that's already implementing that. If we go back to the conversation we just had, where this girl is being overly aggressive about helping and organizing things and getting things moving, we could have that stemming from this hidden fear of her maybe not living up to the potential she had in high school or being able to do all that she did back then because it was held in such high esteem. So now that this really is a crucial moment where things matter, maybe some of those fears and self-doubts are playing into why she's pushing so hard. Yes, she wants to get her friend back. Yes, she wants to help, but maybe she's doing it to prove something to herself as well. So there's a lot that can go into this. And these are things I might not have thought about because why would I necessarily think about my side characters' backstories? Maybe a little bit of that, but probably not to this extent because I don't need to. But now this gives me ideas on her driving reasons for doing things and the things that she could be doing in the story that I'm telling. It goes on to talk about her career after graduating. She landed a job with a local television. Her knack for connecting with people made her a natural fit. She started as an intern, and then she got a permanent position in her job. She's thrived in roles that involve community outreach, event coordination, public relations. She's seen as the face of the station during public events. So girl has really made a name for herself. Maybe I don't like that. If I don't like that, I could say, well, she is not at the point where she can be in charge, where she is the public face yet. She's only 23. She's been out of college for maybe 2 years at this point. She probably wouldn't be in a position where she would be the face of the local television station. So I might have to correct that. I could go in and have that conversation and say, only 2 years on the job would not make her the public face of the station. Please try again, or please change this and see what it comes up with. So from there, we're going to keep on going. It's made her an asset to the station, all of those things. Despite her professional success, Emily hasn't forgotten her high school friendship with a missing person. When her best friend goes missing, she's torn between the desire to help and her feelings of frustration and helplessness I added a word there. Her personal investment in the case leads to a complex mix of emotions that both aid and complicate the main character's search for his girlfriend. Emily's story is one of growth, perseverance, and the challenges of living up to high school expectations while maintaining a genuine connection with those around her. Her character provides depth and conflict to her narrative as her involvement in the search for the missing person adds layers of complexity to the story's dynamics. So look at that. Look at all those things that I can now implement into her character's motives, and the ways that she can trip up our main character as he is searching for his girlfriend. There's so much that I can add in, that I can build by creating a three-dimensional character. And we have a video on how to create three-dimensional side characters using AI. We've talked about it. I'll link it for you down below. It's in the playlist. But if I just create this backstory, just this gives me so many ideas for what she could be doing in her time on the page in my book. This is a really good opportunity for you to learn more by creating those backstories. And you may not even want to do something like a side character. It could be just like an extra person around that can give you ideas for their motives and the things that they're doing just in their tiny little scenes. We know how small characters can just build and build and build to be bigger characters. I had a character in my Jaded duology who was supposed to have a couple of lines who became the most important character after the main couple by the time the first book finished, and definitely by the second book. There's so much you can do when you learn about the character's backstories to have a fleshed out character, to learn about their motives and get those driving functions in there that you don't have to do by yourself, because it's not actually going to be directly touching the page. It's just going to inform their character and help you make decisions about those characters. So highly recommend. Follow along for more creative, legal, and ethical ways that you can be using AI inside of your author career to save you time and effort, so this can be your most profitable author year ever, so that you can thrive while your author life is working for you and you're still living your best life. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.